Okay. Well, this is an extraordinarily special week this week because you and I are getting together at a time we normally do get together, Trina. And I'm really looking forward to this for the audience and for me. There are some wonderful stories that you have to tell too. I know it because I stopped you from telling them, didn't I?
Oh, thank you, Scott. But I wanted to start out a little bit with the continuation of last week. These are signs of
Yeah.
hope, and I think we all realize the weeks that we are in right now in our country and in the world are hardly signs of hope. My goodness, what the world is. This caterpillar that we tried to look at last week, that was just up at the top of this container, this plastic container, is now a chrysalis. Beautiful, beautiful chrysalis. And perhaps you can see what happens to it. It's a black and yellow and white caterpillar, about almost 3 inches long. When it's in the morning, typically in the morning, it's hung for about a day, and then it's with its head down, and then it splits open and it wiggles and wiggles and wiggles, kind of like it is now because my hands shake. That's why it's wiggling right now. But it wiggles and wiggles and wiggles, and you're afraid it's going to fall off because it's grabbed hold with the tail end with the little claspers of this little thing that it is woven up at the top that you can hardly see it. It's like a little spider web thing. So it hangs on for about a day, and then it splits open and it pushes the old coat up as a piece. It looks like a piece of doo doo. And so and it hangs like this. And I don't know if you can see it. It has gold markings on it, and maybe that's why it's called monarchs. It's it's such a beautiful jade color there. And inside there's what they call imaginal cells. They're imagining the butterfly already. So I'm going to put it back on its thing. This, by the way, is a very good container if you want to do this. After it gets to be a certain point, I'd put it in here with milkweed. And then I know there's enough room when it comes out that it can just hang for a couple of hours while its wings dry. So there's that part of it. And then I have some other show and tell for this process. Here's a milkweed. Now there's many kinds of milkweed, but this is the kind that we have. It's called common milkweed, and it's developing a pod. Okay, there's no caterpillars on this one. I just picked this morning. And then here's, oh, good. This one is very cooperative right now. Oh, there's two on here. There's one in the back. Scott, can you see this?
Yes, we can see. We can see both of them.
You can see both of them
Well,
right now? Okay.
yes.
So these are, someone called me and said, there's a friend of hers that has all these little caterpillars and eggs. And it turned out it was right around the corner from my house. So I went over and she picked them off. She picked off the leaves and little things here. So now I have 12 little caterpillars growing, which is really nice because I had only one that I found. So, and she might get more. She was so excited to meet somebody who wanted to raise them because her mother used to, and now she can't or doesn't want to anymore because she had such disappointment. Okay, so, and here's some flowers. I don't know what the kind is called, but they grow. They're 6 feet tall, and the flowers are just on the top parts, and then they keep growing down into all the little crotches. So I just cut off the top ones where there's flowers today, and there'll be more coming. So that's that. But I wanted to get into the feast of today, which is the feast of Saint Martha. There's Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, and they live together about 3 miles from Jerusalem. And the famous first story is that Jesus is there with some of his apostles, and they're sitting there talking. And Mary is sitting by his feet trying to take in all that wisdom. And Martha's busy about whether she's going to serve these people. And she comes and says to her sister, Mary, can you come and help me? And Jesus says, Mary has chosen the better part, and it shall not be taken away from her. Now, that within our Catholic tradition has always been a reason to justify the contemplative orders like the Carmelites and those people who just actually pray. That the church needs that too, those people who sit at the feet of Jesus and pray. So that's been that story. And so it sort of became a kind of discussion between the active life and the contemplative life within the church. And then there's this other one, Lazarus died, and Jesus doesn't come right away. And Jewish people, embalm and put spices with the person, and they bury them very quickly, even today. And so they bury them in a tomb with a stone, like Jesus was then buried. So Lazarus is now already 3 days dead when Jesus arrived, and all the people came and they said, well, if he loved them so much, why didn't he come and cure him? And so Mary is staying at home. I don't know why, but Martha comes out and meets him on the road and said, if you'd have been here, my brother would not have died. And he says, well, you're going to see. Just have faith, Martha, and you're going to see something more, because I am the resurrection and the life. Now, this is one of the most strong things he ever said about himself. And even if you die, you shall live. She says, I know that we're going to live at the last day, at the resurrection of everybody, but he's now stinks. She actually said that. So he said, just wait and you'll see. So he goes over and he calls, Lazarus, come out, and roll away the stone. And Lazarus comes out, and he comes out bound hand and foot, and they release the bonds. And of course, that makes the chief priest so angry, because people are astounded with this particular miracle. And so they think that maybe they'll have to kill Lazarus too, because everybody's going away from him. And a few weeks later, Jesus was crucified. So that all happens rather quickly toward the end there. So Martha was greatly honored by this. Mary comes out later too, and the promise is repeated again to her. But so Martha has her big day with this great announcement. So I just bring that up. Now, there's another thing we want to talk about a little bit, is the value with the Martha story of manual work. Now, when I left high school, I had 2 college scholarships. And I decided to give them both up to go to this place, this women's cooperative in Southern Ohio. And I was put in the laundry. Now, I had a lot of artistic talent, which people knew, but I was put in the laundry. And then I just loved hanging up sheets and hanging things up on the clotheslines. And we even did it in the wintertime, because when the sun was out, they dried beautifully, even when the snow was on the ground. So then later on, I made this sculpture. It's a woman hanging a sheet. So it's one of my very early sculptures. And so this is in honor of all the Marthas and the Martha work that's done, all the beautiful manual work that's done by so many people. So I think I want to thank you and say that's it for today. The honor of manual work, the honor of what Martha represents in our tradition, and hopefully that you all have a good balance between head work and manual work, because that's the way that you can keep a little sane in these trying times. And I thank you for watching, and bye-bye. I love you all. Thank you.